When it comes to public speaking, we often hear this fake it until you make it. Do it until you feel confident about it. However, how I became more confident actually has less to do with trying to fake it until you make it, but actually doing the necessary inner work to bring out the confidence that was already within me. So, fake it until you make it. Why it often works is because when we expose ourselves to certain stressful situations, we eventually get used to it. Then, of course, we feel more and more at ease when we are doing it. However, it doesn't mean that we can, bring out this livelihood, this magnetism out. And how to actually achieve the magnetism is actually through authenticity. But it's not as easy as we actually think it is, because for us to become authentic, it takes a lot of inner work for many people. You see, many people, including myself, when we grow up in certain childhood environments where we often learn how to repress parts of ourselves and actually put up a mask, a persona to actually, go through our daily lives, we eventually learn that, okay, our pure authenticity might not be easily welcomed, and it might also be risky. We might risk, for example, punishment. So, for me, having to learn how to be more confident with public speaking is actually an inner journey that I had to go through. And not so much, learning about, techniques about vocal variety, body language, because those can help. However, what's most important, which is what really brings the real magnetism that captivates people, it is the authenticity that we can, if we dare to bring it out, then we can magnetize people. Because in this world, we all crave for this authentic resonance with people. This is why when we are able to tap into this authenticity, this is how we truly attract people. It's not, you might notice that the most magnetic speakers is because they make you feel something. And they can make you feel something because there is an authentic resonance. However, you see, why is it so hard for us to be authentic and put the real selves out there? It's because we lack this confidence, this exact confidence that we are trying to fake it until we make it. This is the key, and we cannot really just force it out. It takes a lot of work to understand what is really blocking our confidence. What is it that is really making ourselves feel so unsafe to bring it out? And I can tell you, one of the things that I had to go through was actually doing the shadow work, which is about owning the repressed parts of ourselves that we are afraid that is not welcome, because we learned it for such a long time in our lives that those parts might not be ideal to bring it up. And for me, one of the key emotions is anger. And you see, anger is such a powerful emotion, but so many of us learn to repress it because since we were little kids, we learned that if we show anger, it might be risky. We might risk punishment, or that love would be withheld from us. So, why is it that owning my anger made such a difference? When we navigate through this world, when we go out in the public, we cannot feel confident if we feel that we don't have ways to protect ourselves. So, what does it have to do with anger? Anger is a mechanism that we have naturally That helps us to identify situations that are not really ideal or even threatening. So, anger is a part of ourselves that actually love ourselves enough to say, hey, this situation is not all right. How this person is treating us, responding to us is not all right. So we better respond it with a certain level of intensity and to show the person that they cannot treat us this way. And of course, it doesn't mean that we go there and slap people or whatever, but actually learn how to channel it and, say, hey, I don't really like it. Don't do it this way. But when we learn to repress that part of ourselves, and we don't really have another tool, another way of defending ourselves, this stays in our subconscious. And it signals to us that, okay, I don't have any mechanism to defend myself. So what I usually do when people step over my boundaries is that I become a people pleaser, or I try to run away. Or, yeah, so you see, if I don't feel confident in defending ourselves, then I will naturally lack the confidence when I am interacting with people and I don't even know about it. And becoming aware that I was repressing my anger and then work through it to finally tap into it, because what we repress, we don't really know that we are repressing it because we lose the awareness that we actually have anger within us. So I went through my life so long thinking, oh, I don't have any anger issues. But when it came up, and I can tell you, it came up when I did the meditation from Louise Hay. You can search it on YouTube. It's the anger meditation from Louise Hay. And when I did that meditation, and the anger came up as I was visualizing, following the instructions to visualize, then it started the ripple effect of changes. I became more confident because I owned this part of myself, which is a defense mechanism that I have, so that now I feel more confident to go out to the world. And of course, then eventually the journey that continues was that I learned how to express it in healthy ways, to channel it in healthy ways. But that was the beginning of owning my confidence, and then really leveled up my confidence. And then when I started my journey in Toastmasters, because I joined a local Toastmasters club some time ago, then I realized that, okay, for me to actually, when I actually am more magnetic in speaking, is when I actually dare to talk about the things that I really enjoy talking about, that I'm really passionate talking about. You see, when we are socializing with our closest friend, our loved ones, and we talk about the things that we really love talking, those things that you can talk about them for hours and hours and hours, you will naturally have vocal variety. You'll naturally have this body language. You see how I'm talking about? Like, you will naturally have all this liveliness that people will bring people in, because people will also, you see, humans are mirroring species. So whenever you feel something, your body language and voice, tone of voice, vocal variety, everything will naturally show it. Then people subconsciously captures what you're feeling, and they will start to feel something similar. That's why we love those magnetic speakers, because they make us feel a certain way that they are feeling, that is juicy, that is delicious. And I realized as I was going through the journey in Toastmasters, learning to do public speaking, is that whenever I talk about the things that I love, whenever I tap into my authenticity and have fun, That's when I talk the best way possible without worrying so much, oh, how should I walk on stage? How should I talk? And where should I go? How should my hands be? Etc. etc. Some time ago, I had a mentee for a short while because she was an expat. So she came here to Portugal for a few months, and then she went to another country. And she wanted to do this Toastmasters role during one of the sessions. So in the sessions, we have a structure in which someone is the host of the night, and then some people are speakers for planned speeches, that is like 5 to 7 minutes. And then some people are evaluators, some people do impromptu speeches. We have different roles. And at that day, she wanted to do the Toastmasters role, which is the host. And I gave her the structure. Okay, you can do this, pay attention to the guests as well. When you do this and involve the members, etc., etc. I gave her the structure of how she should host the session. And then I tell her, the most important thing is to have fun. Because if you have fun, if you're enjoying yourself, people will feel it. And when people feel it, they will naturally love seeing you. Even my teacher, that is from Awareness Facilitator School, she shared with us that, why sometimes we talk with some people and we feel mentally checked out. We feel even sleepy. We want to yawn. It is because when they are in here and not in here, we can feel it. And here is not really magnetic. Here is like boring for the subconscious. But here we can feel it. Here is the juiciness. Here is what resonates between you and me. So when a speaker can be in here, they change the entire ambience. People will tune in and listen more carefully. So it is important to, of course, expose us to, fake it until you make it has a certain truth in it. Is because if we don't really expose ourselves to the outside world, to the stages, how are we actually going to train our nervous system that, oh, it's okay. This is not really as life-threatening as our subconscious is perceiving. However, when we are able to tap into here in our hearts, it changes. It changes. So if you love this content and if this content really resonates, you can follow this channel and feel free to like, share, subscribe, and stay in tune for more.